Aspen University CJ120 Introduction to Law Enforcement. My name's Andre Rosedale. I'm the instructor for this course. This is Module 3 Discussion Question 2, which reads, what do you believe is the most important part of community-oriented policing? Explain. So I look forward to your response with a good APA reference, even if it's the textbook or maybe something from community policing from your local agency. I do teach CJ405 community policing, and I think this is actually one of the questions for that. So if you write something good, maybe you save it for later in your coursework. There's a lot of things that people do. Are the people involved? Is it the police officers that are involved? Is it the outreach to the community? I had a student, a gentleman that was senior to me by probably 35 to 40 years. He was a student working out in LA County, California, and he took a lot of my classes. Great student that I learned a lot from. And his response to this question was investment by the community in the community itself. You cannot have a good community policing, a good community-oriented policing, if the residents are not invested in their community. For example, if you drive down a street and you see trash everywhere, weeds growing out of the cracks, those people aren't invested in their community. I have recently relocated to Central America. I'm living in Costa Rica. It's beautiful, and the people are invested in their community. You walk down the street, and if someone's walking, let's say 100 yards in front of you, and there's a piece of paper lying on the ground, they will bend down and they will pick it up, and they will take it to the next trash can and they will throw it out. That's investment in the community at its core value. The city that I just retired from when I filmed this in February of 2021 wasn't a lot of investment in the community because it was a transient community. You had casinos on both sides, which brought in a lot of hourly workers and transient workers. And at the same time, the community, one of the most important cities in the early times of America, smaller cities, not Boston, not Philadelphia, but at one time it was supposed to be the capital of Connecticut. And at one time it was the third richest city in the country. That the families that built that city up and structured it and had an investment have now moved away. Their children have moved away and rent out these properties that were paid for, the mortgages were paid for generations ago, that are still in the family. They've turned them into multifamily tenement houses that there's just no investment. They show up when they have to sometimes to fix the heat or water pipes bursting or something, but they're absentee landlords. So there's no investment in that community, and that's one of the reasons that I feel community policing doesn't work in the city that I just left. But it's like my student said, you gotta have investment. You gotta have people that care about it. You gotta have neighbors check on each other. You gotta have neighbors help shovel each other's driveways or mow each other's lawns. Worry about the trash, worry about the rise in the crime, call the police on suspicious things, get involved in checking out your neighborhood. So I believe, in agreement with my former student, that the people have to be invested in order for community-oriented policing to work and for community policing to work. I look forward to see your thoughts and what you think of this.